aren't. Everyone's lights are off because it is nighttime. Good morning, Reptilians. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Elle, and this is Elle's Reptiles. This week, we are doing a video that is... So I've done so many videos of this is how you know if something's wrong with your ball python. This is signs to look for if something's wrong with your ball python. But today I just thought we would talk about some pretty normal behaviors of ball pythons, because sometimes things that look weird can still be very much normal, and most of the time they are super normal. I just want to preface this by saying that if your animal is doing any of these things and it's also accompanied by things like lethargy, especially weight loss, things like that, then these signs could very much be concerning. But if it's not accompanied by those things, they could be very normal. Before we get started, this video is sponsored by our geckos, so make sure to stay until the end of the video to find out all about this awesome company. Let's get started. Alright, if your ball python spends a lot of time basking or in their warm hide, that is super normal. Now, if they only ever go in there and they never go to their cool side, then your temperatures may be off, but for the most part, spending a lot of time in that warm area or even in the cool area when it's summertime can be very normal. So Sterling, my ball python, he will spend a vast majority of his time under his water bowl because that is the coolest spot in his enclosure, but he will also obviously go and bask and be in his warm spot as well. But them finding a spot that's super comfy and cramped and dark and hidden is very normal in the wild. They spend a lot of times in burrows, abandoned burrows made by other animals, and they spend a lot of time there, especially during the daytime, because it's nice and cool. So if your ball python is doing that, most likely it is super normal. Next up, we have either climbing or not climbing, which is kind of all over the place. I know it has been, I guess, a debate for a little while whether or not ball pythons climb in the wild. For the most part, if you have a male ball python, they are probably going to spend a good deal climbing. Give them climbing space and they will use it. Females tend to climb less, but they're still going to climb sometimes if given the opportunity. Not all animals are going to climb. Every ball python has its own little personality. They have their own little likes and dislikes. Your ball python may spend a lot of time climbing. May spend no time climbing, but for the most part, both of these behaviors are pretty normal. And honestly, especially if you have a juvenile or a male, I would highly recommend putting something in there for them to climb, like a nice sturdy branch, just to give them the opportunity to do it if they want to. That's enrichment, and enrichment is fantastic. The more enrichment, the better. Not eating. So this one can be normal, and it also can be a sign that something is off in your tank. Ball pythons are pretty notorious for just sometimes not wanting to eat. That can be perfectly okay. If your ball python is not eating for several months, especially if we're talking about cooler winter temperatures, this is super normal. Make sure in general though, if your ball python is going for a little while without eating, you are checking their temperatures, checking that they have sufficient hiding spaces, checking that they have areas where they can cool off or warm up. Check the lighting. Give them UVB lighting, give them a bigger enclosure. All these things very much can help with them eating. Changing up the type of food, changing up the colors of the food, all those things help, but for the most part, it is pretty normal for ball pythons to go on those small hunger strikes, especially if we talk about breeding season or in the winter, anything like that, anything that can affect them physiologically, then it could be super normal. And it is nothing to be concerned about unless they are actively, visually losing weight. Just weigh them or just take a look at them. If they're losing weight, then there might be something wrong. Check them for parasites, check all those things. For the most part, it can be super normal. Not pooping. So this is one that I used to get a lot of questions about, where people were so worried because they never saw their ball python use the bathroom. This can be super normal, and I know that it's really weird. So ball pythons as an adult may only be eating every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. As babies, they're only eating about once a week. They're usually only gonna go poop when they're shedding, and as they get older they shed less and less. So usually once they go shed, just check that area and see if they've used the bathroom, and they're fine. They are digesting whole prey items. These are giant items. They take a while to go through. Their body is pulling all of the nutrients it can out of those prey items. Those items take a long time to digest, and as such it is super normal and of zero concern if they are not using the bathroom. If they are using the bathroom every day, it's probably concerning, honestly, because it's a very fast track of digestion. You never seeing them using the bathroom unless they shed, super normal. And then we're going to talk specifically, lastly, we're going to talk specifically about shedding behaviors, because shedding behaviors are behaviors that in other circumstances would be red flags, but in this specific circumstance, it's perfectly okay. So in order to know if your ball python is shedding, you're gonna look for things like blue eyes, their pattern being super dulled out or almost looking like purple, their bellies being pink, just overall looking dull and kind of drab. Right before they shed, they'll look super normal. They'll go back to looking completely like normal, and then a day or two later, they will actually shed. During this time, they are probably not gonna eat because they are blind. The scale that covers their eye is separating. They can't see. They're probably not going to eat unless it's this guy. This corn snake, he eats no matter what. Always, every time. But they're probably not going to eat. They are probably not going to leave their hide very much because, again, they can't see. In the wild, this would put them at risk of imminent danger, so they're not going to leave that hide. They may be a little more defensive, a little more hissy, a little more don't touch me, because they can't see. So that is the big thing here. And you could potentially see them soaking in their water dish a lot, which sometimes could be a sign of a potential external parasite issue. But when they're shedding, them soaking in that water dish, super normal. All those things, when in conjunction with shedding, are super, super normal and nothing to be concerned about. And usually right after they shed, they're going to go back to normal. They're going to be hungry. They're not going to be as defensive. They are going to be out and roaming around and just so much happier. So just keep that in mind. When your ball python is shedding, they may act weird, but everything is okay and it will return to being okay. But that is it. That's all that I have for this week's video. I know it was a short video. I have been all over the place. Life has been crazy. But hopefully it was helpful. If you have any I didn't know this thing was normal about my ball python tips, I guess, for people watching the video, make sure to leave them in the comments below, because you might help somebody out, or you might help me out. Who knows? As I said at the beginning of this video is sponsored by I Heart Geckos. I Heart Geckos, awesome company. They make conversion kits for glass tanks that you may have laying around that turn those glass tanks into front opening enclosures for your critter. Super easy to install. You just put the acrylic door into the lip of the glass tank, put silicone around it, wait for that to dry, wait for the smell to get out, and you're good to go. You have a very long-lasting, very inexpensive front opening enclosure for your animal. Make sure if you do happen to order one of these from iHeartGeckos.com, you leave Elle's Reptiles in the How Did You Hear About Us box, that way they know that you guys are coming from here. Thank you so much to our geckos for sponsoring this video. As always, if you haven't already, please feel free to follow me on my socials and like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications every single time I put out a new video, which is most Sundays, and occasionally I do shorts on Wednesdays. This week's YouTube shout out is here. Thank you so much for liking and following, commenting, and subscribing, and sharing. Did I say that one already? All of the things. Thank you so much. You are the bee's knees. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye. Turn this light on. Never helps. Alright, shorts. That's what we're doing today. That leaves, yes. Ah! Freezy here! Okay. Alright, so, need my notes. Yeah, right now still. Let me see that. Here's them out. I should just take you out of the video. Take that with me. Oh, you're wrapped around there. Alright, well. Okay.